That'll take place in South Korea. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with more on what might be talked about at that meeting.
In addition to the rare earths, President Trump also wants to make a deal for America's farmers, specifically soybean farmers, after China has refused to purchase American soybeans this year as part of the ongoing trade war with China. Last year, China purchased $13 billion worth. This year, zero. Now, here in Malaysia, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Trump's top trade representative Jamieson Greer meeting with their Chinese counterparts, hoping to firm up a trade agreement with China by the time Trump and Xi meet in South Korea at the end of this trip to Asia.
And President Trump is set to visit Japan also. Part of the trip is reportedly considering a possible meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, although no meeting there has been confirmed. That government shutdown continues. Lawmakers still deadlocked over the budget. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman breaking with his fellow Democrats, siding with Republicans in a move to at least pay furloughed workers missing their paychecks, but saying that, yes, health care subsidies are also important.
We don't have to do this three-card Monty about, do this, do that, do the other thing. Let's just open it up, and then we have our SNAP. We have everyone's paid, and then we can have that conversation to see if we can extend those tax credit deals, because I do believe there are enough Republicans that would like to see that too.
Senator Fetterman earlier today on Fox's Saturday in America. The federal government shutdown, now the second longest in U.S. history. And a death to report just in the entertainment world. Actress June Lockhart, who was the idealized TV mom on Lassie. She was also on Lost in Space. She has passed away. June Lockhart has died at 100. America's listening to Fox News.
From around the world, Trey Yingst, joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel. To Washington.
I'm Mike Emanuel.
To your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to Fox News.
Tropical storm Melissa.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A fatal crash not far from IU. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending this hour. A person is dead from that crash, which happened on I-69 early Saturday morning in Monroe County. It happened heading northbound and forced a section of the highway to close. According to Indiana State Police, a driver was going the wrong way and collided with another car head-on. A Carmel nurse practitioner is arrested after an 8-month-long investigation. Several pharmacies say they started noticing that Catherine Curtis was overprescribing medications and writing fake prescriptions. Police say she was also stealing the identities of other nurse practitioners.
There's systems in place that prevent medical professionals from doing this at the pharmacies. These pharmacists are trained and they're good at their job. So when they see these red flags, they begin flagging certain providers.
Curtis faces several preliminary charges, including identity deception and dealing by a licensed practitioner. 2 people are injured after being shot at a home on Indy's west side late Friday night. IMPD officers responded to a home just after 11 to find 2 victims in critical condition with multiple other people at the house at the time, including kids younger than 5 years old. Officers also saw guns inside and outside the home. The Indianapolis Colts are heavy favorites going into their game this afternoon against a division rival in Tennessee. Head coach Shane Steichen told reporters that none of that really matters.
I never look at that stuff. I think every week in this league is a challenge. I don't care who you're playing, where you're playing. Everyone in this league is good. And like I said, it's a division opponent at home that we got to be ready for.
Sportsbooks have the Colts as 2-touchdown favorites. Kickoff from Lucas Oil Stadium is at 4:25. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies become partly cloudy, low temperatures in the low to mid 40s. And for Sunday, partly cloudy skies are expected, high temperatures getting into the lower 60s for highs. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
If your loved one has stopped seeing friends because hearing loss prevents the use of the telephone, please help them by visiting RelayIndiana.com. RelayIndiana.com provides captioned telephones that allow the hard of hearing to have phone conversations through voice recognition technology. The other person's words appear on an easy-to-read screen. Help your loved ones stay in touch with their family and friends by getting them the captioned telephone from Relay Indiana. Learn more at RelayIndiana.com.
It's not just cancer care, it's the complete care you get at Hendricks.
And you can feel that spirit of excellence, trying to do what's best from a medical standpoint, but also trying to affect the patient and their family as you would a family member.
Hendricks Care is trying to meet the patient where they are.
You know your body better than anyone else.
Do the cancer screening early.
An ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure.
Learn about health screenings at hendricks.org/cancer.
30 to 50% off all container trees and shrubs at Sundown Gardens in Westfield, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is the Second Amendment, and this is the Gun Guy.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang, bang.
With Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And good afternoon and welcome to the Gun Guy Show here on 93 WIBC. We're thrilled that you're with us. Hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. I'll tell you, I'm really excited about today's show. Coming up at 5:30, I'm going to have a guest that I'm really fascinated to talk to, and his name is Barry Todd. And Barry Todd was involved in a real self-defense shooting where he was literally defending his life in Yuma, Arizona, in 2014. And, you know, doing what I do for a living, that is defending self-defense cases for real clients in real courtrooms, you know, one thing I see, whether it's on social media or in the general media or wherever it might be, that people have sort of a romanticized view of self-defense shootings. And a lot of times I think an unrealistic view of what it really means if you get caught up in a self-defense scenario where you're called upon necessarily to defend yourself or defend someone else, including with deadly force. And the reason I spend so much time talking about it, the reason I spend so much time teaching that area of the law, just a week ago today, I was out at Parabellum Firearms out in Avon, and in a 5-hour course, we spent a good 2 hours of it talking about the law of self-defense. And when you're actually allowed under Indiana law, and Barry Todd's situation happened in Arizona, and there are certainly differences and there are certainly similarities between Indiana and Arizona law, but a tremendous overlap. But in the meantime, the reason I spend so much time talking about that is that, and I always phrase it this way in my courses, that the way that self-defense works, the way that the justifiable and legal use of force in self-defense or defense of a third person, the way that actually works is it takes an act, and this is exactly the way I start this discussion in my courses. The law of self-defense takes an act, and it could be something like punching someone in the face. It could be as significant as intentionally killing a person. I mean, what's the intentional killing of a human being? That's murder. That's how Indiana defines murder. It's the intentional killing of a human being. If someone kicks in my door in the middle of the night and they walk through the broken door with a sawed-off shotgun in their hands, and I point my pistol at his chest and pull the trigger 4 times, and he dies, was that the intentional killing of a human being? Well, of course. I pointed my gun, loaded with competent self-defense ammunition, at center of his chest, and I pulled the trigger 4 times. Any reasonable person would expect that person to die under that circumstance. That was the intentional killing of a human being. That's the definition of murder. So why don't I go to prison for murder? Because the law of self-defense says in certain scenarios, in certain situations, if you meet certain tests, then what would otherwise be a criminal act, including the most severe of criminal acts, murder, for which you can get life in prison, or under some circumstances, the death penalty, and certainly 40, 50, 60 years in prison here in Indiana. It takes that same act, the intentional killing of a human being, and says, no, that's legal, and it's justified, and you go home and sleep in your own bed that night. And that all depends on which side of that self-defense line you're on. Are you on the line that says, yes, under that particular set of circumstances, you are legal and justified in intentionally killing a human being? And if you just fall on the other side of that line, where you're not justified, now you're guilty of a very serious crime. That can be murder, it can be aggravated battery, it could be attempted murder if the person doesn't die, and any number of other serious crimes, including reckless homicide, criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. It goes on from there. And Barry Todd, gentleman that's going to join us at 5:30, was involved in a situation where he had every reason to believe that what he did was absolutely justified in self-defense under Arizona law. And in the context that we're going to discuss that issue, Arizona law is very, very similar to Indiana law. Yet he was still prosecuted. He was still pursued in a way that very nearly cost him not only his freedom, to the extent he could go to jail for many, many, many years, cost him his business, which he had built from the ground up, and it still cost him 6 figures. It still cost him literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, all because a prosecutor contended that he was on the wrong side of that law under Arizona law in terms of whether what he did was justified or not. And that's what I do for a living. I have pending cases right now. I have a murder case pending right now, and I absolutely will not discuss any specifics on the radio. But my client's accused of murder, and our claim absolutely, positively, without question, is self-defense. My client was actually shot during a struggle. Prosecution says, no, it's not justified self-defense, and whether it's self-defense or not, because there's not really much dispute over what happened, except whether my client was justified in doing what he did. And again, that's why I'm fascinated in having Mr. Todd, Barry Todd, on the show. He's going to join us at 5:30. But I'm going to spend quite a bit of time on the show because we are anticipating that call, and I think what will be a very interesting interview. I'm going to spend quite a bit of time talking about the law of self-defense and how exactly the law of self-defense works. I'm going to focus around Indiana law, and then we'll talk about how that varies from state to state. Mr. Todd wrote a book, and I read his book. He was nice enough to send me a copy. His publicist actually did send me a copy. And his book is called Stand Your Ground, One Man's Self-Defense Nightmare. And it's got some really good artwork. I'll tell you right now, I commend whoever designed this cover because it has the Lady Justice statue, and you've seen this a million times around courtrooms and other places. It's a lady, kind of looks like the Statue of Liberty, except she's holding up a set of scales, and she's got a blindfold on. It's the idea that justice is blind, but as sort of a silhouette, almost a shadow behind her. You can look this up. The book's for sale on Amazon. I've read it. it's for somebody who's interested in self-defense and stand your ground laws in particular, is absolutely fascinating to me. But it's sort of a silhouette, almost a shadow behind Lady Justice on this cover. It is something that looks unmistakably like the shadow of death, and it really is good art in the sense that it communicates exactly what it's intended to, which is that if justice gets mischaracterized, if justice gets misapplied, then that can turn into something much, much darker, much, much more sinister. And that's exactly what this artwork on the cover of Stand Your Ground, one man's self-defense nightmare, portrays, and incredibly well. So we'll talk more about that when we come back. Right now we're taking a break, but I'm really interested in this, and I really want to take your calls and get your questions and comments about the law of self-defense, exactly how self-defense works. A lot of people have a lot of very profound misunderstandings about the law of self-defense. And I see these things on social media all the time. For instance, I see people say, well, all I have to do is say I feared for my life, and that just allows me to do whatever I want to do, whether it's shoot someone or stab someone or run over them with a car or whatever it might be. Well, I feared for my life. Aha! Some magic wand that protects me. No, that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. But we'll talk more about that and get into the specifics of Mr. Todd's situation. Right now, we're taking a break. We want to invite your calls, as we always do here on the Gun Guy Show. Give us a call, 317-239-9393. We want the focus here to be, at least on the first part of the show, the law of self-defense, how self-defense actually operates, and what really gun owners, if you have a gun on the nightstand, you have a shotgun next to the bed, certainly if you carry a gun, have a gun in your vehicle, or any other means of deadly force, and your vehicle even is a means of deadly force, what you really need to know about the law of self-defense. That's why I teach the classes that I do. That's why I discuss it so much here on the Gun Guy Show. But we'll talk a lot about that here throughout the show. Give us a call, 317-239-9393, 317-239-9393. This is Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The Secret Service announced that they have dismantled basically an electronic spying ring, 300 SIM servers, and 100,000 SIM cards. This network that was broken up would have the ability to text everybody in the United States within a couple of seconds.
Yeah, no arrests concerns me, but the fact that they caught it is awesome.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Guy Relford for the Law Office of Guy Relford. You know, one thing we do a lot at the law office that we really enjoy doing is restore people's gun rights, whether it's something on your record from a long time ago, something that's cost you your ability to buy a gun or to get an Indiana license to carry a handgun. A lot of those folks we can help, and we've helped many, many, many over the years, and it's something we enjoy doing. If you're curious whether that applies to you, whether it's a felony conviction or something else, we can restore rights for an awful lot of folks, and we'd love to talk to you about it. You can contact us through the website. Just go to relfordlaw.com. That's relfordlaw.com. You can send us an email through the website or get the phone number and give us a call. I always suggest email. Better to have email, that way we can always go back to it and find your contact. But contact us through the website, relfordlaw.com, and see if we can help restore your gun rights.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. And right now, lease a new 2025 RAV4, just $349 per month. Or a new Tacoma, $289 per month. Plus, choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more.
Hubler's got you covered.
At the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com. Grand opening savings and the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Cover me!
Select models, approved credit, plus tax tag, title license, 249 dealer doc, RAV4 model 4432, Tacoma model 7540, 36 months, $29.99 due, zero security, 10,000 annual miles, 15 cents per mile thereafter, expires 11/2.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $400 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any Ford-Tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $200 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $200 more. See store for details.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now's the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Second to none on the Second Amendment. This is The Gun Guy with Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back. I'm Guy Relford on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC. We're talking about the law of self-defense, how self-defense cases actually work. And as I mentioned before the break, the fundamental concept, what people need to get their heads around, is that the law of self-defense takes an act which can include shooting someone, killing someone. I mean, how important, how profound, how life-changing can those type of events be? But it takes that kind of an event, and depending on whether you're on the side of lawful justification or you're not, that can literally make the difference between whether you go spend 60 years in prison or whether you're not guilty of any crime and you go home, as I said, and sleep in your own bed. And that's why it's so incredibly important. And an awful lot of people, I think, just from reading a lot of posts, I mean, I'm on a lot of the gun-related, firearms-related, defense-related pages, networks, platforms. And I think there are a lot of misunderstandings about how that law really works. And I represent clients. I don't think any currently, but I've certainly represented clients over my 43 years as a self-defense attorney, 42, I guess, soon to be 43, where people got caught up in the legal system in part because they had a real misunderstanding of how self-defense works or how the justice system works in that context. And that's why I'm, again, excited about the show. So, first of all, in Indiana, if we're talking about the use of a gun, and again, even though we're going to talk about a specific case that unfolded in Arizona, there are just tremendous overlaps from everything I've read, including Mr. Barry Todd's book in its entirety. There are a lot of overlaps. And first of all, if there's a gun involved, Indiana has a case that says that merely pointing a loaded gun at someone creates a substantial risk of serious bodily injury. Do you know what creating a substantial risk of serious bodily injury is? That's the definition of deadly force. So there's a Court of Appeals decision. If you want to look it up, it's called Nance versus State. N-A-N-T-Z. And the Court of Appeals in Indiana said, well, yeah, pointing a loaded gun at someone creates a substantial risk of serious bodily injury. So if you're going to even point a gun at someone, much less pull the trigger, you have to be justified in the use of deadly force. Well, how many people carrying guns in Indiana? And this is not a criticism. It's just a rhetorical question. How many people in Indiana carry guns, have a gun in the car, have a gun on the nightstand next to their bed, don't know when exactly it is that they're justified in the use of deadly force? Especially in a state where the current state of the law is, even pointing your gun at someone in order to be legal means you must be justified in the use of deadly force, unless you're a police officer within the legal performance of your official responsibilities. So you're someone like me, and most of you who are not a cop, we got to know when we can pull the gun out of the holster. We got to know when we can point it at someone, and we certainly need to know when we can pull the trigger. And how many people do? Well, again, that's why I teach my class. That's why you hear me plugging the class here so consistently, and it's something that I know there's a profound need for. In Indiana, let me answer the question here a little bit. There are 4 distinct circumstances in which you're justified in using deadly force in self-defense or defense of a third person. And you want to look all this up. It's all spelled out in the statute. We have a self-defense statute. It's Indiana Code 35-41-3-2. And it has a bunch of subsections. It goes all the way through, I want to say, subsection K. So there are a whole bunch of subsections, and it talks about different situations, different scenarios. But in terms of when you're justified in using deadly force, there are basically 4 times you can do that. And again, we're talking about Indiana law here, since that's where our immediate audience primarily is, although realizing people listen to the podcast from all over. And there's a tremendous overlap. Certainly there are differences, but there's tremendous overlap from state to state. In Indiana, you can use deadly force. First, if you reasonably believe, and that reasonable belief is so huge, that force, meaning deadly force, is necessary to prevent serious bodily injury to you or a third person. To prevent serious bodily injury to you or a third person. I believe that's subsection C of the statute. I don't have it in front of me, but I've been teaching it and working with it for a long time. So serious bodily injury you're preventing to you or a third person. What it also says right in that same section is it says you're justified in using reasonable force, including deadly force, if you reasonably believe that force is necessary to prevent the commission of a forcible felony. What's a forcible felony? Well, it's a felony committed through the use or threat of force. So there are a lot of felonies that are punishable as felony, and a felony is simply defined as a crime punishable by over 1 year in prison. That is, the maximum penalty is over 1 year. But there are a lot of felonies that are not forcible felonies. If there's a guy in the parking garage here at WIBC right now stealing my car, he's committing a felony. But it's not a forcible felony. A felony is a felony committed through the use or threat of force. He's not threatening anyone. He's not brandishing a weapon at Indy 1. He's just in my car trying to steal my car. That's a felony, but it's not a forcible felony. What if I'm in my car and a guy walks up next to the window of my car and waves a knife in my face and says, "Get out of the car, I'm taking your car"? Well, now that's carjacking. Is carjacking a forcible felony? Yes, it's a felony committed through the use or threat of force. So, okay, now we're at 2. We've got, you reasonably believe that force, including deadly force, is necessary to prevent serious bodily injury to you or a third person. Can you defend a third person the same way you defend yourself? Yes. Eli Dickin, who I represented, who stopped the Greenwood Park Mall mass shooting. The shooter didn't even know Eli was there. The shooter was shooting other innocent people all the way across the food court of the Greenwood Park Mall right here south of Indy. Eli drew his gun, shot the bad guy, ended the threat. He was protecting others from serious bodily injury. Justified? You bet, 100%. So I can prevent serious bodily injury to myself or others. I can prevent the commission of a forcible felony. Not any felony. It has to be a forcible felony. Armed robbery, is that a forcible felony? Yes. Is rape forcible felony? Of course. The most vile of forcible felonies. Well, now it goes on from there. Then we have what we call our Castle Doctrine. What's the Castle Doctrine? Well, it means you can defend your home. The Indiana Castle Doctrine is broader than just your home. It says you can use reasonable force, including deadly force, to prevent or terminate, very important words, prevent or terminate an unlawful entry into or attack upon your dwelling. What's your dwelling? Well, that's where you're living at the time. Can be permanent or temporary, movable or fixed. Meaning, could be my hotel room. That's where I'm living at the time. Certainly my home, my house, my apartment. It's where I'm living at the time. Now, Indiana's Castle Doctrine goes beyond that. It talks about curtilage, which, as I've mentioned here on the show before, is a bit of an unknown. We'll go into that right now. It also includes your occupied motor vehicle. Indiana extends the Castle Doctrine, what you can defend with deadly force, to your occupied motor vehicle. Interesting. Not germane to the present discussion. And then the last one, the fourth scenario, is you can use reasonable force, including deadly force, to prevent the hijacking of an airplane. And by the way, that law has been on the books long before 9/11. So in Indiana, we're talking about Indiana law right now. Those are the 4 times you can use deadly force. But then there are a whole bunch of I started to say peripheral issues, and they're not peripheral, they're central. They're critical issues, including if you're caught up in a scenario where you've used force, including deadly force. And listen, if you shoot someone, is that deadly force? Yes. Yes, 100% of the time. Well, what if they don't die? It doesn't matter. Deadly force in Indiana is defined as force that creates a substantial risk of serious bodily injury. And serious bodily injury is defined very broadly to include force that simply includes extreme pain or unconsciousness or impairing a bodily member or organ, quote unquote. It goes on from there. It's very broad. If shooting someone, I don't care where you shoot them, shoot them in the foot, shoot them in the leg, is that deadly force? Yes. So again, we're talking about to be justified. There are specific scenarios. And who has to prove that? In a court case, you get caught up, you shoot someone, you defend your home, you defend your life, you defend yourself from a drunk outside a bar, which is going to be germane to Mr. Barry Todd's discussion. We're going to have him join us here in just a bit. Well, first of all, who has to prove that? Do you have to prove, as the person who's potentially accused of a crime, do you have to prove you acted in self-defense, or does the prosecution, the state, have to prove you didn't? That varies by state to state, I can say that, and it's critically important. What's the burden? What's the burden of proof? It goes on from there. And these are things that self-defense attorneys deal with all the time. Certainly I do as part of my practice. It all becomes a bit of a quagmire and certainly fascinating to discuss, and can determine exactly what we talked about earlier, which is whether you're charged with a crime at all. If you are charged with a crime, whether you win or you lose, whether you go to trial, whether you can have the case dismissed before trial, whether you're disputing probable cause or otherwise, having evidence suppressed, or whether you win in front of the jury. That's how the progression goes. But knowing the rules of the game, and certainly how they can be used against you, many times unjustly, is so critical to the discussion. That's why I'm excited about having Barry Todd on the show. We're going to take a break here at the bottom of the hour. We come back, we'll have Mr. Barry Todd, author of Stand Your Ground, One Man's Self-Defense Nightmare. I read it. I just read it over the last couple of days. Fascinating book. Certainly to anyone interested in self-defense. And me as a self-defense attorney, I found it absolutely fascinating. And I'm excited to talk to Mr. Todd. We'll be right back. This is Guy Relford on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Kendall and Casey.
My mom is still receiving Social Security from my father.
Legally?
Yeah.
I don't think they just give it to your family.
No, your spouse can still get it.
Really? I put if you pass away. You know what the next thing that came up?
Did it autofill?
Who gets your Social Security?
Okay, what's the answer?
The main beneficiaries are usually the surviving spouse, children, or dependents.
So I was right.
Eligibility?
Say it!
Maybe.
Oh, say I'm right.
Kendall and Casey. Weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
So, where's the lake?
Not here.
But it says Great Lakes Honda Fishers.
Right. I just don't see a lake.
Well, who needs a lake when you can lease a 2026 HR-VLX all-wheel drive for $309 a month and $0 down?
That definitely won't soak our bank account.
Oh, it's the old Honda Fishers.
Great Lakes, great people, great cars.
But no actual lake. Visit our showroom off State Road 37 today. Tax and title fees not included with approved credit through Honda Financial. In-stock new Hondas only. 10,000 miles a year. Not combinable with other offers. Loyalty or conquest rebates may apply. Offer ends October 31st. See dealer for details.
Fox News, I'm Jim Osman. Here's what's happening. Tropical storm Melissa is now a hurricane. It's a slow-moving storm, gathering strength in the northern Caribbean.
20 to 30 inches of rain. So let me say that again, 20 to 30 inches of rain. So much rain that you could almost measure it in feet instead of inches.
Jamie Rome, head of the Hurricane Center. Hurricane Melissa already claimed 6 lives in the DR and Haiti earlier this week. Meanwhile, PA Senator John Fetterman broke ranks with most Democrats, siding with Republicans in a vote to pay federal workers missing paychecks during the government shutdown.
I'm always going to vote country over party. I'm always going to vote for paying for the military over my party and those things, because I think that's what's appropriate right now.
Fetterman on Fox's Saturday in America. This is day 25 of the shutdown. America's listening to Fox News.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Our electric bills have increased as much as $50 each month. Governor Mike Braun is driving bills even higher. Instead of helping families, Governor Braun is doubling down on costly coal, gas, and nuclear. That means more pricey power plants that Hoosiers like us have to pay for. Utilities get richer, we pay more. Something has to give. Go to StopMikesHikes.com today to send Governor Braun a message. Hoosiers need affordable energy, not a blank check for greedy utilities. Paid for by Citizens Action Coalition.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
The show about gun rights, gun safety, and responsible gun ownership. This is The Gun Guy with Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back to The Gun Guy Show here on 93 WIBC. We're thrilled you're with us. Tell you what, let's get right to the phone lines. And on our VIP hotline, we have Mr. Barry Todd. And I've been talking about Mr. Todd here for a while. But first of all, welcome to The Gun Guy Show, sir.
Oh, thank you for having me, Guy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So I read your book and was completely fascinated by your story, especially as someone who's trained in self-defense for a long time and someone who's an attorney for 40 plus years and defends self-defense cases. Completely fascinating to me. But I just want to start with you're someone who certainly familiar with firearms 20 plus years in the military, including as an Army Ranger, reaching the rank of captain. That certainly led you to be extremely comfortable, certainly with your ability to handle a firearm.
Yes, sir, it did. When you're around firearms your whole life, they become part of you. They're not something that you're afraid of.
Yeah, exactly. So 2014, you're out to an evening of entertainment, including singing a little karaoke. And by the way, I tried My Way by Sinatra one time, as you apparently did, and I dropped the ball pretty hard on that. I'm hoping you did a better version of that than I did. But
my wife said that's the only song I could ever sing.
Well, I can't even sing that one. But just to describe what led to the encounter that resulted in you feeling the need to involve a firearm. What happened? Just what were the events that evening that caused this whole scenario to unfold?
Well, simply, Guy, for your listeners here, my wife and I were out with 4 other retired military couples for dinner, drinks, a little bit of dancing. We usually linked up about once a month. Many of us served together, and throughout the evening, we met this young man, and he became very aggressive toward the ladies. He ended up threatening me and my wife. Then I was viciously attacked, not by one man, but 2, twice, one of them wielding a knife. And when the police showed up, literally they did zero investigation. They totally skipped the due process and charged me with attempted murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault within 5 or 6 hours. And there were 160 hours worth of videos from 16 different cameras that they never looked at before they charged me.
And we're going to get more into this. And by the way, I hope you have a little time to spend with us, because this is going to take certainly more than one segment to kind of pull all the layers off this onion. But you were in the bar. Things got a little tense with this guy, even threatening. Inside the bar, he was making gestures, insinuations towards your wife. At one point, you left the bar, I believe, to just go get some chew, right? Some Copenhagen or something, like out of your vehicle, correct? You left the bar.
I sure did. He threatened me twice in the bar, and both times I told him the same thing. I am too old to get in a barroom fight. This is not happening. I would walk away.
Exactly. So you left to go to your vehicle just to get some chew, but on the way back, now suddenly you're confronted by this guy. And by the way, what in terms of physicality, is this guy bigger, younger, stronger? How's this guy compared to you? What are you faced with? Because as I understand it, he was actually preventing you from going back in the bar as you tried to re-enter to go rejoin your wife.
Oh, yeah. The pictures you saw in there, he towered over me. He outweighed me by 100 pounds. He was about 4 or 5 inches taller than me, and both the guys were.
So he won't let you back in the bar, and at one point he said something, I won't use his language on the radio, but signifying that he fully planned to spend the rest of the evening with your wife and wasn't going to allow you even back in the bar. Where did it go from there?
At that point, and he had already assaulted me, threw me headfirst into a cinder block wall, and punched me. At that point, when he threatened my wife, I said, "Be advised, I'm armed."
Now, when you said you were armed, were you carrying a gun at that moment?
No. In Arizona, you don't have to.
I'm sorry, you don't have to what?
You don't have to have the gun on you at that time.
Understood. So what happened then? You said, "Be advised, I am armed," even though you didn't actually have a gun in your immediate possession. What happened
Correct. He said, "Go get your effing gun." I said, "Okay." And I proceeded to walk the 45 feet to my vehicle, secured my firearm, just the way the laws of Arizona teach you to do. When you go through their CCW training, I had it down at my side. When I went to re-enter the establishment, he was standing off to the right along the edge of the door. And I stopped short because not only with my CCW training, but more so with my military training, you never cross a danger area exposing your back to somebody that's already attacked you or that is threatening you. That's the worst thing in the world you do.
Exactly. So you got your gun in your hand, sort of down along your leg.
Correct, on my right leg.
Okay, and so what happened then?
I stopped short of him. I pointed at him, and I said, "I'm going in there, getting my wife and my belongings, and I'm leaving." Before I could even get my arm down, he attacked me.
So he essentially said, "Damn the torpedoes to your gun," right? Didn't much care that you had a gun. I'm assuming there was some alcohol involved at this point.
Well, he says he couldn't remember anything, that he blacked out.
Oh, so blackout drunk.
That was the only statement he was. Yeah, he was blackout drunk. He said the last thing he remembers was playing darts. Well, if you watch all the videos, he stopped playing darts about 45 minutes before he attacked me.
Wow. Wow. So he attacks you, and he's got a buddy there outside the bar with him, apparently, too,
Correct.
Right? And actually attacks you, including with a knife.
Correct.
So what happened?
And he even admitted to the police that he had a knife, but he was never charged. And that's because the police never looked at the videos.
So all you wanted to do was get back in the bar, rejoin your wife. You're obviously concerned about your wife. She's been threatened by this huge drunk guy. You're now in, a fight for your life outside the bar, correct?
Yes. At that point, yes. When he attacked me the second time, he fell into the doorway. And as I came up off of him, his buddy, I fell forward on him, my left, and he was trying to grab hold of my gun hand. And finally, he let go. And then when I started to come up, thinking it was over with, his buddy, with a knife, attacked me from behind and pulled me down, and then he jumped me right back on top of me.
So
now they're trying to get the gun from me.
Okay, so you're fighting for the gun. What then happens?
Well, he wasn't very smart. The guy was really dumb. He had my forearm, and he was squeezing it with all his strength. He actually broke my arm. He squeezed it so hard. He caused a what do they call that? A hairline fracture. He actually broke the bones in my right forearm. And I just finally looked at him, because at that point I knew I wasn't going to let them have the gun. This guy's got a knife. I just looked at him dead in his eyes. I said, "This is going to suck for both of us." And the gun.
You literally said that out loud.
Yes. His nose was literally 2 inches from mine when I said that to him.
And then what happened?
And then when he took the .357 round and his stomach came out his shoulder, he stood up and then he staggered away and fell down in the middle of the parking lot.
Well, I'll tell you what, Barry, if you don't mind, and I hope you have more time because we are not even grazing the surface on this. I need to take a break. We're going to come back for a short segment. I really would like to keep you for a while because, one, I want to get into the details of your book and where people can find this entire story. But also, I want to talk about the entire legal battle. I really hope you have some more time to stick with us here this evening.
I do. I can give you about 30 or 40, up to 30 or 45 minutes.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be the best 30 or 45 minutes we've had here on the Gun Guy Show for a long damn time. So I'll tell you what, let's take a break right now. We'll be right back with Barry Todd, author of Stand Your Ground, One Man Self-Defense Nightmare, when we come back here on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Holy cow! Another beautiful play for Indiana. A new coach, a new team, a new energy in Bloomington.
You're going to see a bunch of guys that are all about winning. They play incredibly hard.
Coach Darren DeVries is ready to write the next chapter in Hoosier basketball.
We love what I think the fans are going to be able to see in terms of how we approach every game.
IU basketball is back, and it starts now against Baylor Sunday at 1 on the home of the Hoosiers, 93 WIBC.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's. But that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and it's time to get ready for spooky season by eliminating all of that spooky dirt, grime, and spills. Halloween brings out the best in people, but it also brings out some pretty scary crud from all the foot traffic. How about having Zero Res help you take on all of that with an unbelievable October special? Get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129 and 15% off dryer vent and air duct cleaning too. Now that's some serious savings on the carpet cleaning. And remember that your air ducts are where the really spooky stuff is. Yikes! The Zero Res service for your carpets, floors, dryer vents, or air ducts is easy to line up, and you can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. I love these folks, and don't forget the ZR Water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129 plus 15% off dryer vent and air duct cleaning too. Call 317-388-5141 or book things online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4 tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $200 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyears and save up to $200 more. See store for details.
Colts fans, our team is on fire and we're celebrating in style. Join us for the Colts Ultimate Tailgate this Sunday at noon at the Slippery Noodle. We're talking drink specials, tailgate games, and nonstop Colts hype before kickoff. Bring your crew, wear your blue. Details at WIBC.com.
Your rights, your responsibilities, your guns. This is The Gun Guy with Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
That's Guy Relford on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC. So got here on a VIP hotline, we've got Barry Todd, who's involved in a self-defense shooting, Yuma, Arizona, 2014. So, Barry, you've just pulled the trigger. The guy who'd been attacking you is now hurt, stood up, but then keels over. You're hurt. You've got a broken forearm and various other lacerations, contusions, and injuries from having struggled with this big, huge, drunk idiot. What happens then?
That's when my friends actually heard what was going on outside, and they all rushed out. And the bouncer at that point was trying to take charge. He wasn't really a bouncer, more of a ID card checker. He tells him to take. My wife tells me, "Go ahead and let go of the gun. I'm here." My friends were there. I let go of the gun. The bouncer had somebody take it over, unload it. Then the police. I stood up. She goes, "What happened?" I said, he wouldn't stop attacking me.
And Barry, and forgive me, we've got to go to a break at the top of the hour. It's way late getting into this, but we have to take a break here at the top of the hour and get some advertising in. When you come back after this break at the top of the hour, I want to talk about when you first had any doubt that you were completely legally justified and that there was even a possibility you were actually going to be prosecuted for having clearly defended yourself with your firearm. And thanks so much for your patience, for sticking around. Right now, we got to go into a break. Top of the hour, Guy Relford on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. And right now, lease a new 2025 RAV4, just $349 per month. Or a new Tacoma, $289 per month. Plus, choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more.
Hubler's got you covered.
At the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com. Grand opening savings and the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Cover me!
Select models, approved credit, plus tax tag title license, 249 dealer doc, RAV4 model 4432, Tacoma model 7540, 36 months, $29.99 due, zero security, 10,000 annual miles, 15 cents per mile thereafter, expires 11/2.
Fall is great in Indy, so don't ruin it by painting. Do what Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received postcards from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any Ford-Tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $200 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $200 more. See store for details.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News. 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
Meeting with the Chinese.
The big visit is actually not happening here in Malaysia. That will be in South Korea when President Trump is expected to meet China's leader, Xi Jinping, and President Trump says he's looking forward to the meeting.
We want to take care of our farmers.
Now, President Trump mentioning America's farmers, especially soybean farmers, after China has refused to purchase American soybeans as part of the ongoing trade war between China and the U.S. Now, here in Malaysia, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Trump's top trade representative Jamieson Greer met with their Chinese counterparts, hoping to firm up a trade agreement with China by the time Trump and Xi meet in South Korea.
Lucas Tomlinson in Kuala Lumpur. President Trump will also be attending a summit in South Korea. Tropical storm Melissa has strengthened into a hurricane. It's a slow-moving storm gathering strength in the northern Caribbean. And National Hurricane Center Deputy Director Jamie Rome says Melissa could slam Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic with life-threatening rainfall.
20 to 30 inches of rain. So let me say that again, 20 to 30 inches of rain. So much rain that you could almost measure it in feet instead of inches.
Melissa already claimed 3 lives in the Dominican Republic earlier this week as the powerful storm stalled in the Caribbean. And Haiti's Civil Protection Agency confirmed a landslide left 2 people dead on Thursday, and a falling tree killed a man in his 70s. Melissa is not supposed to directly impact the U.S. mainland, but may produce some rough surf on the East Coast. And Drew Lockhart, who became a mother figure for a generation of television viewers, has died at the age of 100. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Emily Campagno, and I'm taking you inside the Idaho murders. In Moscow, Idaho, a small college town, one case so violent and heartbreaking shocked the nation. 4 students were found brutally murdered in their off-campus home, prompting a cross-country search for the cold-blooded killer. The Fox True Crime Podcast presents Inside the Idaho Murders. The evidence, the manhunt, the killer, and the victims.
Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com. Every weekday, it's your go-to source for staying informed and entertained. The Fox News Primetime Highlights Podcast, offering a curated selection of the most impactful moments of the Ingram Angle, Jesse Waters Primetime, Hannity, and Gutfeld. Listen and follow now so you never miss a moment of the action-packed highlights from these must-watch Fox News Channel shows. Go to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. America's listening to Fox News.
More protests expected at an ICE facility outside of Chicago. The processing center has been the site of regular demonstrations, with some becoming violent. Fox
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A serious crash early Saturday near Indiana University. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending this hour. 1 person is dead from that crash, which happened Saturday morning on I-69 near Bloomington. NDOT said it was a head-on collision involving a wrong-way driver. The crash caused northbound lanes of the interstate to close as traffic was heading to the IU football game Saturday afternoon. 2 people are last reported to be in critical condition after being shot at a home on Indy's west side late Friday night. IMPD says they found guns inside and outside the home and multiple people inside too, including 2 young children. Police are investigating it as a domestic incident. The cool weather that hit Indiana Friday morning might have been something you didn't enjoy. John Herrick reports on what's coming next.
Aaron Updike is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. He says there's certainly a fall crisp in the air.
But luckily, as we get into the weekend and later parts, it's still going to be cold, but more cloud cover, so our overnight temperatures won't fall quite as well.
As for rain, he says there are possibilities for it nearly every day next week, but he doesn't see any large amounts of rain during that time. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the Colts offense setting historic marks through their first 7 games of the season. They are statistically one of the best scoring teams in the NFL in the last century, averaging 33 points per game.
There's a lot of numbers that stand out, but I think the biggest number that stands out to me is points. Like,
got to score points in this league. And
Head coach Shane Steichen there. The Colts can sweep the series against the Titans with a win Sunday afternoon. Kickoff from Lucas Oil Stadium is at 4:25. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies become partly cloudy, low temperatures in the low to mid 40s. And for Sunday, partly cloudy skies are expected, high temperatures getting into the lower 60s for highs. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Planes, trains, automobiles, and motorcycles. If you've spent a lot of time working or playing around loud vehicles, you may have trouble hearing on the telephone. Get back in gear with Relay Indiana, providing telephone accessibility to the hard of hearing. Relay Indiana allows hearing-impaired callers to have normal phone conversations through voice recognition technology. And there's loaned equipment for those who qualify. Add clarity back in your phone conversations. Get the captioned telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
I was seriously injured. It was definitely somebody's fault, and I didn't actually know who, so I needed to call someone. I was really happy to have a law firm like Hensley that had ethics. I made the best call.
It happens. Hire Hensley.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is the Second Amendment. And this is the Gun Guy.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang, bang.
With Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back for hour number 2 of the Gun Guy Show here on 93 WIBC. I got to tell you, that's got to be the longest break at the top of an hour that we've ever been through here in the 10 years I've been doing the Gun Guy Show, because we haven't even grazed the surface of the story of Barry Todd, author of Stand Your Ground, One Man's Self-Defense Nightmare. And all I wanted to do was get into the substance. And like I said, we've just barely touched on it. But Barry's on the line. And so just to recount, for anybody just joining us, violent encounter, huge, drunk, aggressive person is trying to prevent Barry from just re-entering the restaurant where he was just spending the evening with his family, his wife and friends. Threatens him, attacks him. Barry at one point gets his gun from the vehicle, comes back. There's a struggle over the gun, and a shot is discharged. Barry's attacker, and by the way, another guy joined the fight with a knife, also attacking Barry. Broke Barry's arm, caused various other injuries. Now the bad guy is down. And Barry, I hope that's a brief summary, but I hope I did that accurately. What happens next? When's the first indication that you thought you might actually have an illegal jeopardy arising from all of this?
Well, I knew the law well enough that I knew I was going to have to go down and be questioned. So I didn't really think anything of it. They did handcuff me immediately. They put me in the back of a patrol car. Then they took me down and put me in an interview room. Everybody was very pleasant. It wasn't no big deal. But then when I started realizing there was going to be trouble was after the second interview. At first I wasn't going to say anything because that's what everybody says I do. But whenever I had talked to the police before, if you knew you were in the right, they're usually reasonable people.
Well, let's talk about that, because reading your book, at one point you very specifically said, listen, I'm not saying anything, this is to the police, without my attorney present. And they said, okay, interview's over. You thought about that for a while, and then you said, no, tell you what, I've got a clear story to tell, and then decided to make a statement without an attorney present. Is that the way that went?
Yeah, because I knew the self-defense laws. I've been trained in Arizona. My wife and I, during that time period, we practice all the time, and we go to take additional training, and I knew the laws. and now, unfortunately, what we didn't find out till much later was the police and the prosecutors didn't know the newer Arizona laws that have been passed over the past decade prior to my shooting.
Which you actually knew more about than they did because of your CCW class, correct?
Correct. Matter of fact, I even knew more than my attorney did.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about that too because that hit me like a ton of bricks when I read that in your book. But I want to focus on that because I teach a class on the legal issues around the use of force in self-defense. I've been teaching it for a long, long time, and I have a slide that I put up, and it says aftermath, and then the slide after that says, I'd be willing to cooperate fully and give you a complete statement after my attorney is present and I've had a chance to calm down. And people will challenge me on that and say, hold on, if I didn't do anything wrong, why should I be concerned about telling the police what happened? Because I know I'm in the right. I know what I did was legal. Looking back where you first said, nope, I'm not going to say anything without my attorney present, then you made a decision to make a statement. Is there anything about that you do differently today?
I probably wouldn't have made a statement, but I don't think it would have mattered anyway.
Okay. But you think because the prosecutors were going to end up charging you anyway?
Well, the police made the decision that night, and as you read, when you read the book from the preliminary hearing, the police officer, the lead detective, finally admitted to it after months, actually 2 years of saying, no, he did not have any predetermined notion. My attorney, being the brilliant man he was, finally backed him in the corner and got him to admit on the stand that yes, he did.
Okay, so let's I kind of jumped into the one issue about making a statement or not, just because it's something that I teach. But so the police made the decision to write this up essentially and to initiate charges against you. And what happened from that point going forward?
All right. Do you want to know about that night when they charged me?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to go forward?
What happened? So when did you realize you were actually being charged with a crime?
Well, I went back into the interview and we sat down. I told him everything that happened, and then he walked out. They brought me a cup of coffee, and he walked out. He came back in probably 10, 15 minutes later. He said, "Read this and sign it." And I said, "I shared with you earlier, Detective. I don't have my glasses on me. What is it?" He says, "It's a charge sheet." And I said, "A charge sheet for what?" And that's when he said, "Attempted murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault." And I said, "I told you, through everything I told you, it was strictly self-defense." His exact words to me were, "We have the whole thing on video." I said, "Great, have you looked at the video?" And his exact words back to me were, "Not yet."
So
they're
filing charges and they haven't even looked at the video yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I looked at him, and my old Ranger instructor days from the 1980s came out, and I proceeded to literally verbally abuse his lack of intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine there were a couple of F-bombs in there somewhere.
There were.
Yeah.
I started it out was, "Oh, you're a real intelligent life form. The oxygen is just flowing to your brain," and then it just continued to flow from there.
And listen, I should. We can chuckle about that, but this is the beginning of a 2-year nightmare.
Yeah, 26 months and 17 days.
Yeah, and so
well, just on the criminal side.
Yeah, well, exactly, and we'll talk more about that too. So you're charged with a crime, and as you found out later, the whole matter was actually submitted to a grand jury there in Arizona, correct?
Yeah, sure was. 6 days after the incident, it was submitted to a grand jury, and again, they never showed the video. At that point, they hadn't even reviewed the video.
And people need to understand, and I explain this to people all the time, and I've had many cases over the 4 decades I've been an attorney where the grand jury's involved. People don't understand that the grand jury only hears one side of the story. Now, the prosecutors, under some ethical responsibilities, are supposed to present both evidence of guilt as well as evidence suggesting innocence, but prosecutors don't generally do that in my experience. They tend to present a completely one-sided story, and the grand jury then, they don't decide guilt or innocence, but they decide whether there's probable cause to pursue criminal charges against you. And that became a real focus of your case, didn't it?
Oh, it did. It became the total focus of it.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, and you hit the nail on the head, Guy. The people don't realize that a prosecutor, when he first takes up a case, before he takes it to a grand jury, technically the legal term for it of his title is called Minister of Justice.
Yeah.
All right, that's supposed to be his title.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be wearing an entirely different hat than the prosecutor hat. He's supposed to look at all the evidence, present all the evidence to the grand jury fully, whether it exonerates the potential person to be charged or whether it doesn't. He's supposed to present everything, and then let the chips fall where they may. And that's why my attorney, the brilliant man he was, he passed away at the end of 2023. But he was the number 2 chair on the Miranda rights case that went through the Supreme Court. Brilliant man, Michael Kimmer. And he goes, well, Barry, our goal is to not for it to go to trial. So we know they had the videos. They didn't show it. So the first thing we're going to do is say, send it back to the grand jury. And so he did that. And it worked. And so the prosecution, because he didn't even present he presented the basic affirmative defense self-defense law. And I don't know if your listeners know the difference. I heard you talking earlier, the difference between affirmative defense and justification defense.
Yeah, I was saying one of the preliminary issues in self-defense always, depending on the jurisdiction you're in, is who has the burden of proof. In other words,
Correct.
Is it an affirmative defense where the defendant has to, or the person being investigated has to prove they did act in self-defense, or is it a matter of what we call the state's prima facie case, meaning they have to prove you didn't act in self-defense? And
Correct.
that's fundamentally important. And you actually, on that point, because you'd been through your CCW class, actually had to educate your own attorney on that.
Oh, exactly. I did, because the law that changed 10 years earlier before my case happened. The actual in Arizona, for your listeners, this is now a justification defense state. The moment anybody who had to use a weapon in any type of incident, the moment they say it was self-defense, by Arizona law, they're not supposed to charge you. They are supposed to prove that they're not supposed to charge you until the prosecution proves that it wasn't self-defense.
In terms of the grand jury in this case making that determination.
Correct.
Yes.
They're not exactly. They're not even supposed to charge you, because what you're saying, and when you do that for your listeners, you're saying, yes, I did shoot him.
Right.
You're not denying that you didn't shoot the person. What you're doing, though, is saying I was justified in accordance with the laws of the state of Arizona in my case.
Yeah, and listen, Barry, we have to take one more break. Can you come back for one more segment, because there's so much more I want to talk to you about. I so much appreciate you indulging us with your time.
Well, I want to plug my book real quick before you let me go.
Absolutely.
Go to standyourgroundbook.com.
You
can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Dorrance Publishing.
Absolutely, but I want you to come back for one more segment if you have the time.
All right.
Because I really have more to talk to you about. All right, and we'll talk again about where people can find your book. Right now, we're taking a quick break. This is Guy Relford on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WIBC.
It's another week of this.
There's a very good chance that we'll have a settlement.
And another day for this.
Water rose 28 foot in 45 minutes.
Plus, another possibility of this.
Monitor the weather condition, the National Weather Service.
That's why another update is just minutes away.
Start saying we're not taking this anymore.
Just another day. Not with all this happening every day.
Happening now.
93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Guy Relford for the law offices of Guy Relford. You've got a gun-related issue, a self-defense-related issue. Check us out at relfordlaw.com.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits, like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
The big fall sale is here at Sundown Gardens. Visit the Garden Center for 20% off interior fall decor and 50% off pottery. It's the best deals of the season. All container trees and shrubs are now 30 to 50% off. Now's a great time to add to your landscape and save while you're doing it. The friendly staff at Sundown Gardens can help you add all the right touches to your home and landscape. Sundown Gardens, located on the corner of 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield, sundown.gardens.com.
So, where's the lake?
Not here.
But it says Great Lakes Honda of Fishers.
Right. I just don't see a lake.
Well, who needs a lake when you can lease a 2026 HR-VLX all-wheel drive for $309 a month and $0 down?
That definitely won't soak our bank account.
Oh, it's the old Honda of Fishers.
Great Lakes, great people, great cars.
But no actual lake. Visit our showroom off State Road 37 today. Tax and title fees not included with approved credit through Honda Financial. In-stock new Hondas only. 10,000 miles a year. Not combinable with other offers. Loyalty or conquest rebates may apply. Offer ends October 31st. See dealer for details.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Together, we can provide 1 billion meals by 2030, because everyone should be welcome at the table. Learn more at nourishingneighbors.com.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
Now you've got a gun guy. Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back. We're back with Barry Todd, author of Stand Your Ground, One Man's Self-Defense Nightmare. So Barry, okay. So the prosecutor submits a completely one-sided version of the case to the grand jury and doesn't even show that. This is mind-boggling to me as a defense attorney, that they would submit grand jury evidence and not even give them the video of the shooting.
It just blew our minds.
Much less the video of everything going on in the bar, including this guy confronting you, threatening you, verbally and physically assaulting you, all before the actual events that led to him getting shot. How's a grand jury supposed to make a decision on probable cause without seeing both sides of the story?
Correct. That's exactly right. And that's why the first time he agreed to it, and we even took the videos that we received from the police and turned them over to one of the FBI's top video forensics experts, Brian Neumeister. He took all the cameras that referenced, of the 16, there were 4 of them that picked up the entire incident inside and outside the establishment. And he went ahead and ran them and spliced them together like a movie. It's unbelievable. And we gave that to him before the second grand jury.
You say to him, you mean the prosecutor?
Yeah, we gave it to the prosecutor before the second grand jury, and he still didn't show it all.
And at this point, you have to wonder. I mean, yeah, this guy's role in the grand jury proceeding is supposed to be the minister of justice, right?
Yep.
Obviously, he was acting as anything but. What do you think? What do you think the agenda was here? Do you think this guy just has political ambitions and he thought it would help him to try to put you in jail? Or what do you think the motivation was?
Well, whenever you take somebody and you before you've looked at the most important evidence and you plaster them all over the Southwest United States, newspapers and everything else, some crazed retired ranger comes into a bar and shoots a guy in the head. I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't want to let it go because then they have egg on their face. But that's exactly what happened.
And you know, the role of a prosecutor, and I've heard of many prosecutors over a lot of years say this in open court, that listen, my job is just not to prove guilt. My job is to present truth in throughout the whole judicial proceeding, and that's supposed to give them an air of credibility. But that's only if it's true, and that's only if they act this way. And the thing that struck me, that two things that just leapt out at me as someone who's done this for a long time, is when you, because you'd learned Arizona law through your concealed carry class, had to update your lawyer on who actually had the burden of proof of proving or disproving self-defense. But the second one was, and this just screamed at me, when your lawyer and the prosecutor are arguing over what should or shouldn't have been presented to the grand jury, and the prosecutor actually said, it came out of his mouth, over his lips, he said, "I don't care what the law says."
That's correct, and we got that on an actual recording.
How are you supposed to be the minister of truth, minister of justice, if you don't actually care what the controlling law of the jurisdiction says? That hit me like a ton of bricks.
Oh yeah, and that's what one of the people that was in the room even wrote an affidavit saying that's what he heard. Even then, we had it on the recording. It's unbelievable.
It is.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
he told my attorney, I don't care if he was following the law. He could have come back with a gun up his butt.
yeah, right. No, I remember that too. So how much, and listen, it always breaks my heart when I'll be talking to my own clients and I'll say, listen, this is such an incredibly unfair process because the rest of us, the whole criminal justice system, prosecutors, grand jurors, maybe a criminal jury at some point, if it goes to trial, your defense team, your investigators, everybody else has weeks, months, years to dissect everything that happened in the matter of a few minutes. And you had to make instantaneous decisions, sometimes in a millisecond, including whether to pull a trigger or not. And it's so unfair because everybody else gets to analyze this in retrospect with the benefit of hindsight. You had to make the decision in an instant. And realizing that, of course, looking back on it, for instance, how big of a deal was it? How big of a deal did the prosecutor make it that when you left the bar the first time, you didn't have your gun in your immediate possession, then having the confrontation with this drunken, huge idiot at the entrance to the bar when you just tried to go in and rejoin your wife, that you actually then went to your vehicle and retrieved your gun and came back?
Oh,
did the prosecutor make a big
him off?
Did he make a big deal out of that?
Oh yeah, he sure did. He hated that. He could have walked down the road. Well, that walk would have been a quarter to half a mile on a dirt road or a two-lane road with no sidewalks, 45 miles an hour, no street lights, to a gas station way down there to call my wife, because my cell phone and everything was inside my wallet. And also, my wife was a DD that night. She wasn't drinking, right? And that's how we operate a lot of times. So that was it's abhorrent how the whole system has been turned upside down. And to be honest with you, guy, I think it's happened over the past 40, 50 years. I'll tell you a story. In 1966, my brother was 8 years old. His dad woke him up at 2 o'clock in the morning outside Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Said, come out here on the porch, and there was a dead guy on the porch there, and had a big bullet hole in his chest. And he said, grab that hose over there and wash the blood off the porch. Sheriff comes up the driveway, walks up on the porch and goes, what do we have here? And Ralph's dad said to him, goes, hey, ask him, and pointed to the dead man. He goes, I can't. He's dead. He goes, exactly. So everything I'm going to tell you that's happened is what happened. Don't try to add anything to it or create a crime that doesn't exist. That man was breaking into my house. I have my 7 children and my wife in here, and I put 2 holes in his chest. Any questions?
And that was the end of that.
That was the end of it. But you do that nowadays, and all of a sudden they have all this stuff, and then they put you through this ringer called pretrial services. All right, you love this one, guy. Pretrial services, for your listeners out there, that's probation. Okay, they took away my guns. They took away my alcohol.
Without being convicted of anything. This is all pending with your case pending.
Never been convicted of anything in my life in a criminal trial.
Yep.
And no felonies, nothing. And outside of some traffic tickets, they turn around and I have to get permission to travel. I'm the CEO of a national company.
Yes.
My wife owned a real estate business, and so I couldn't do anything. I had to ask permission to go to my father's 80th birthday. Unbelievable. And I had to ask permission to go to my own daughter's wedding. So, and then they turn around and they put you on a every 30 days they want to check out, give you an unannounced urinalysis and blood test. What? I'm not a druggie. I've never had these issues. And then the biggest thing is you got to go in every 2 weeks and sit in front of some new probation officer to the probation office, and they give you the newest guy, and he tries to psychoanalyze you. I'm a decorated disabled veteran. I own a national company, all right? I've seen things that could make a billy goat puke, and you're going to come in here and try to psychoanalyze me to see how I'm doing? It's absurd.
And I want to reemphasize, this is while your case is pending. You haven't been convicted of anything.
Exactly.
They're treating you like you're on probation after conviction for a serious crime. Well, listen, so you had, even though you had to do some education early on, you had obviously a very, very good attorney, and he ends up actually being able to challenge the grand jury's determination of probable cause in what's called a preliminary hearing. And that's a little different procedure than we have here in Indiana, but out there in Arizona, and it was able to get the judge to make an independent determination of probable cause that it's huge, because that would, if you win on this, would result in the dismissal of the charges, and you don't have to actually go to trial where the remainder of your life is in the hands of 6 or 12 people who are going to determine guilt or innocence. And the judge, by the grace of God and through good lawyering, and because it was true and substantiated by video and all the other evidence, judge determines there never should have been a determination of probable cause, and dismisses the case against you. So that's the happy part, correct?
Yeah, it is. But going back to that, the whole point of the matter is that the judge literally, after the 3rd grand jury, he got so frustrated with the prosecutor not showing the videos to the grand juries, he actually went and looked at the video and made a finding of fact in a case before it ever went to trial.
Wow.
And my attorney, who was, as I shared earlier, Michael Kimmer, at that point had 50 years of criminal defense experience. He said to me, Barry, he goes, in my 50 years of practicing law, I've never seen a judge do that. He goes, that was unbelievable. Now let me ask you, have you ever seen a judge make a finding of fact before the case goes to trial?
No, and not unless it's a proceeding that specifically allows him to do so, which that didn't do. So no, I agree with that completely. Well, listen, and I don't want to ask you any too personal information here, but you won. That's the great news. And you made some allusions to this in your book. I mean, just the retainer for your attorney was $100,000. You had to spend $10,000 on a retainer for your investigator that you had in this case, which yielded great benefits. But if you're comfortable answering this question, you were innocent. A judge determined you should have never even been charged because there was no probable cause, because the prosecution couldn't rebut your claim of self-defense with any competent evidence. But you still spent, what, a couple $100,000?
Closer to $400,000 on the personal side, and then through my business, it took me another $250,000 to clear my name. Because, see, folks, your listeners out there, you are guilty until proven innocent. I own a national financial advisory firm. That the moment I was arrested, it went on every single disclosure for every business associate, for every client, or everything. It didn't have anything to do with my business, but it had to go on there. And even after I was cleared, and it never went to trial, the case was dismissed, I had to keep it on there, just the fact that I was charged. It took me another 5 years to get the record sealed, get it off the FBI databases and off all the other police databases throughout the country, because you have to do those individually. That's just not a one happenstance. And that takes time, and you have to get a judge to order it to seal the record, and then to get it off of all those disclosures. It was an absolute nightmare, especially when you have people like the state of Florida. State of Florida, because we were licensed in Florida, says, yeah, we want you to go down to the court and get us a copy of every single court document in your case, certified. All right? Let me tell you something. It costs like $4 per page of certification, and we had over 2,500 gigabytes. Really? The amount of dollars that we spent on this is astronomical. And the lessons I learned, number one, know the laws in the state where you're carrying. And my wife and I were licensed in about 41 states. And as soon as you cross there, get an app on your phone so you know it. Number two, carry the insurance. Yeah. Carry good self-defense insurance. Number three, don't talk to the police. Don't give it to them. I don't think it really hurt me. But then again, just follow what the lawyers tell you. You don't say nothing without your lawyer there. And then number four, and this is the most important, remember, the attorneys, the private eyes, the expert witnesses, they work for you. All right? You're the one writing the check. No matter, they're going to give you their opinion that you do not always have to take it. And you have to check their work and hold them accountable. And if they have a problem with that, then you probably need to fire them in the first place.
I love that. As somebody who could be fired if somebody follows that advice, I still love that advice, because I'm willing to stand behind my representation of any client, and any competent lawyer is going to feel the same way. So I love that absolutely love that advice. I'll tell you what, Barry, we've gone way past the bottom of the hour. Where can people find your book? I read it. I was fascinated by it. And I'm somebody who does this for a living, both on the training on self-defense as well as a criminal defense attorney who handles self-defense cases. It was fascinating to me. It's a quick read. Loved every minute of reading it. Where can people find it?
All right. They can go to our website, standyourgroundbook.com. And on there, you can go to, you can order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Dorrance Publishing. And folks out there, this money's not going back into my pocket. All the proceeds are going into a foundation that my wife and my legal team and some other law enforcement experts have helped us establish, so we can help others who don't have the money. I was blessed because my wife and I have been blessed by our Lord Jesus with gifts and being financially successful. I was blessed in that way. But how many people aren't out there are not? I know tons of people across the country that aren't. And nobody wants to come in and help them with those resources to be able to have them. Yeah, they want to all help them afterwards after they found the evidence, so that way they can sue them and get a lot of money. But not a lot of them want to just come in and say, okay, we're going to give money to your defense team.
Yep. Hey, quick question before we let you go. Were there any repercussions to this prosecutor? Was this prosecutor ever disciplined in any way?
No.
And obviously that should have happened. Lastly, I lied. One more question. Were you ever concerned about this person who was shot after attacking you, and you justifiably shot him? Any worries about him suing you for civil damages for the injuries?
Oh, he did.
Oh, he did?
Oh, he did 5 weeks after he was in the hospital. I didn't get into that in the book because I wanted to focus on the criminal.
I'll tell you what.
He did. Oh, he dropped a lawsuit. But that's why you carry your homeowner's insurance and auto insurance.
Or carry insurance.
Yeah, you remember, folks out there, I own a national financial advisory firm. Your home covers you anywhere in the world for anything that you do except operating a vehicle. And that's when your auto insurance comes in. And if you want additional liability coverage like I had an umbrella that takes the liability from my homeowners of my auto and takes it above that.
I got you. Listen, we need to leave it there. Sir, I took way more of your time than I said I would, but this is a fascinating story. I absolutely commend your book to people. It's called Stand Your Ground, One Man Self-Defense Nightmare, author Barry Todd. Find it on Amazon. Find it at Stand Your Ground, the website that Barry mentioned. Right now, I got to let you go. Thank you, sir, so much for sharing your story with us here on the Gun Guy Show.
God bless you, and have a great weekend.
You too, sir. Right now, we're taking a break. Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 90.
Has a new favorite beer. It's Mick Ultra. If you remember, Modelo was the #1 beer in America. They're blaming Trump. The Trump administration's immigration policies have affected its sales.
At least Cracker Barrel came out and said, hey, we screwed up. We're going to go back to the way things were. Bud Light never did.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. And right now, lease a new 2025 RAV4, just $349 per month. Or a new Tacoma, $289 per month. Plus, choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more.
Hubler's got you covered.
At the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com. Grand opening savings and the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Cover me!
Select models, approved credit, plus tax tag title license, 249 dealer doc, RAV4 model 4432, Tacoma model 7540, 36 months, $29.99 due, zero security, 10,000 annual miles, 15 cents per mile thereafter, expires 11/2.
Custom jewelry is not out of reach with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. At PA Jewelers, you can customize any piece of jewelry for that special someone. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg. Gold, diamonds, gemstones, and of course those watches from Flederman Von Riest, assembled right here in Indiana. Custom designed jewelry with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. Custom jewelry made just for you. PA Jewelers, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg. 317-456-4010. PAJewelers.jewelry.
Pat Sullivan here with a weather update. It's October, and we still have no clue if your AC should be blasting or your furnace needs to start kicking. Better have both prepared with a $49 AC unit and furnace maintenance from Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Is it sweater weather or tank top weather? Nobody knows. But we do know that you can ensure total comfort inside your home for only $49. Call my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today.
I'm Paul Stevens. President Trump heads to Asia for a multi-nation tour, which includes a big meeting with China's President Xi Jinping.
It's their first face-to-face meeting since Trump returned to the White House. The two countries are locked in a trade war at the moment. Rare earth minerals and soybeans are two major issues. Last year, China bought $13 billion worth of American soybeans. This year, zero.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Malaysia. Hurricane Melissa forecast to bring severe conditions to Jamaica and nearby areas of the Caribbean through Tuesday with as much as 30 inches of rain. Fox Weather hurricane specialist Brian Norcross.
It's hard to imagine how you could have a worse hurricane. If this happens, this will be the worst hurricane in the history of Jamaica since we have records going back.
Melissa not expected to hit the U.S. mainland. America's listening to Fox News.
The Indianapolis real estate market is strong but not easy. Now is a good time to sell only if you hire a real estate team that knows how to aggressively market your home, like Mark Dietl Realty. Perhaps you're worried you need costly repairs or upgrades to sell your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Michael in Speedway had to say about working with Mark Dietel. I loved my Speedway home, and I raised my family there, but it was time to sell and downsize. I met with the Mark Dietel team, and they explained their amazing marketing plan, and I was convinced. Just like the Speedway, things moved fast from there. After just 3 days on the market, I accepted an offer for $11,000 over asking price. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Save plenty this spooky season with Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129 plus 15% off dryer vent and duct cleaning too. ZeroResIndy.com.
Reach your fitness goals in 2025 with a 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Housing discrimination because of race, color, or national origin is against the law. If you believe you've experienced housing discrimination, contact HUD at hud.gov/fairhousing.
He's a Second Amendment attorney. He's an NRA certified firearms instructor. He's the gun guy. Guy Relford on 93 WYPC.
And welcome back. Thanks so much to Barry Todd, retired Army Ranger and author of the book Stand Your Ground, One Man Self-Defense Nightmare. We mentioned this during our segments, but where you can find that, go to standyourgroundbook.com. Just standyourgroundbook.com. I've read it, and the interview we did, and we went longer than I necessarily planned, and we still barely scratched the surface of what a nightmare this was for this gentleman. And it's near and dear to my heart because of how long I've been involved in self-defense and training self-defense, but also defending people. This was a travesty, but not, I can't say it's rare. I can't say that it's anything, well, I can't say it's rare. Let me phrase it that way. I mean, I see miscarriages all the time. There are prosecutors out there who don't understand the law. There are prosecutors who apparently, as his felt, don't care. Literally said, where there were witnesses that heard him say it, a prosecutor said, I don't care what the law says, and wanted to put the gentleman in prison, even though the law of the state of Arizona said he was not guilty. I'll tell you what, we need to go ahead and get right back into a break. Says how long I went on that segment. Again, it's standyourgroundbook.com. Check that out. We'll come back. We'll wrap up this edition of the Gun Guy Show. If you're on hold, forgive me. Please call back next week. We went so long with Mr. Todd's interview that we're not going to have time to go to the phone lines when we come back. But I'll wrap up this segment with some additional thoughts on the lessons learned from Barry Todd's experience. Right now, we're taking a break. Guy Relford on the Gun Guy Show on 93 WYBC.
Kendall and Casey.
The problem with the IEDC, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, they can avoid giving information that other government agencies have to give away. This is the state taking money from you and giving it away to their buddies.
It does make you question the impact on Indiana taxpayers.
I think the worst part about it is nothing's going to happen to these people and nothing meaningful will come of it.
Kendall and Casey, weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WYPC and WYPC.com.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
The deals are happening at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. That's where you get your next Ford car, truck, electric vehicle, or fleet vehicle. More savings, more selection, and more for your trade. Drive off in a new Ford F-150 for 3.9% APR or lease for $401 a month. It's your choice. You can get a new Bronco Sport for just $381 a month. Get more before it's gone. And routine maintenance plans are available to keep things simple and convenient. And don't forget, get more to your door. Just shop online, and Andy Moore will deliver directly to you. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. For your car, for your truck, for your fleet vehicle, and of course, that service. Just go to AndyMooreFord.com, set up your service. They'll pick up your car, take perfect care of it, and bring it right back to you. Andy Moore Ford, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield. Stop into the showroom and tell them Tony Katz sent you, or online at AndyMooreFord.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Snapped a great photo? Witnessed something newsworthy?
Hey, there's some news.
You can text it right to the WIBC newsroom. Join the text club. Text WIBC to 317-239-9393. He's a Second Amendment attorney. He's an NRA certified firearms instructor. He's the gun guy. Guy Relford on 93 WIBC.
And welcome back. I'll tell you, thanks again to Barry Todd who joined us. That's right in my wheelhouse here. It's right dead center of what we find important, what we think it's critical to communicate on here on the Gun Guy Show. And his story is just so important. One word about insurance. Mr. Todd talked about having an umbrella policy through his business to protected him against different layers of liability. I will tell you that most homeowners insurance, which he mentioned, does not cover you for any quote-unquote intentional act. And if you're accused of a crime, and it's actually, there are limitations. Virtually every state prohibits insurance companies, including homeowners insurance companies, from insuring against criminal acts. So if you're accused of a crime, there are an awful lot of homeowners insurance policies out there that will either say, well, that was an intentional act, which is excluded, or it was a criminal act, which is excluded, and you don't have any coverage. Now, it sounded like things may have worked out a little better on that issue, but insurance is a contract. Insurance covers what the contract says it covers. And in my experience, if there's a self-defense scenario that unfolds on your property, then you have an argument it's covered, but you'll get what's called a reservation of rights letter that says, well, if ultimately it is determined that what you did was A, intentional, and B, not justified, then you're not covered for that in terms of your expenses, your attorney's fees, expert witnesses, all that kinds of things. So that's one of the reasons, for instance, that I have separate carry insurance. And mine is through USCCA. There are several other programs out there that are specifically designed to cover you, whether you're accused of a crime or whether it's civil liability. that is a private suit, and you heard Barry Todd say, it was one of the last questions I asked him, did this guy actually think about suing you? He said, oh, he did. You know, days or barely weeks after the incident, this guy filed a civil lawsuit. So now you got to worry about going to prison. You also got to get worried about losing millions of dollars in a civil lawsuit. That's why I like insurance that covers both of those. Now, I mean, full disclosure, USCCA several years ago hired me to teach their self-defense seminars. They paid me a little bit of money, not very much, and haven't done so in, probably 3 or 4 years now. But I did have that financial relationship there at one point, so I want to disclose that to you so you can take that for what it's worth. But since then, I just pay them money every month. It's not much. It's like $25 a month, but I have insurance that covers me if I use my gun or otherwise defend myself or defend another person and to get either prosecuted or sued. So, and again, I'm not necessarily pitching USCCA. You can decide for yourself. There are many other programs. There are programs like U.S. Law Shield and Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network and First Call Defense. There are several others. So make your own decision on that. But it really did strike me as I read Barry Todd's book that one of the primary lessons, you know, I see people out there on the internet, on the gun-related forums, and everybody, you know, wants to be Rambo. Everybody wants to be a tough guy or girl. And a lot of times people seem very cavalier, even enthusiastic, about using their gun or using force, or defending themselves with deadly force. And let me tell you, every person, I've defended a lot over the years, many, many people, including many I'm represented, several I'm representing right now. And every one of them will tell you it's something that they would avoid if they had it to do over again, that they simply wouldn't have gone there. Now, does that mean you shouldn't defend yourself if it's warranted? Absolutely not. I carry a gun every day. Why do I carry my gun? Because I think I might have to use it. If I have to save my own life, save another innocent life, save certainly my family, oh, hell yeah, I'm going there, and I'll do it without reservation. At the same time, if it's possible to avoid it, boy, I'll tell you, that's a lesson that comes out over and over again in these stories. But right now, we're coming to the end of the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again to Barry Todd. We'll be back next week. And remember, always shoot straight and always be safe. This is Guy Relford on The Gun Guy Show on 93 WYBC.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Right now, you can buy with zero down. Choose from over 2,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs. Plus, every Hubler Q certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000 mile